After studying this module, you shall be able to review the concept of reliability, learn about various factors that affect the reliability of a test, know how variability of age and scores influence the reliability index of a test, learn about the effect of time interval practice and learning on the reliability measures, understand the effect of viewpoint of various scorers on the reliability measure of a test, know about the reliability measures of some common psychological tests. Let's start with reliability and the factors which affect the reliability. Stability of test scores and test items represents the reliability of the test. Reliability index denotes the accuracy of psychological measurement, that is, the extent to which measure is likely to change over time. In terms of errors of measurement, it is defined as the ratio of random error variance to the total score variance. Consider raw score as X on a test. It is made up of true score capital T and random error E. If these are the symbols, then reliability can be denoted as 1 minus variability of E upon variability of X. It is to be noted that less the random error, more the raw score represents the true score. More will be the reliability of the test. In other words, a reliable scale is a scale that gives measurements without an error. Because it is impossible to make a measurement without an error, the goal of a test developer is to reduce the magnitude of error to the least value so that the reliability of the measuring device can be increased. For this, the sources of error that can probably affect the reliability of a test need to be identified. Reliability of a test is affected by many factors. In this modules, we will be studying various factors that affect the reliability of a test score. The 6 major factors that affect the reliability are variability in age, variability of scores, time interval between testing, effect of practice and learning, consistency in scores, and effect of test length. We will be dealing with these factors one by one. The first is variability of age. The age variability of the group affects the reliability coefficient. The reliability will be higher for a group having a wide range of age group participants and lesser for a group in which the participants belong to relatively similar age group. This can be illustrated in the graph, which shows increase in the test reliability with increase in the variability of age group. Consider a group which is completely homogeneous with respect to chronological age. The range of test scores for such a group will vary from extremely low to extremely high. As there is no deviation in age, the correlation of chronological age with test scores for the group would be 0. Further, if there is a small variation in the group with respect to chronological age, then the correlation of chronological age with test scores would be lower, and the larger variation in chronological age will make the value of correlation coefficient greater. Therefore, while interpreting the reliability coefficient of a test, it is necessary to know the range of age of participants on which the test is standardized. The second factor which may affect the reliability of a test score is variability of scores. As it is discussed with regard to the variability of age, the reliability of a test is also affected in the similar manner with the variability in the measured scores. When the variation among the participants is small, the correlation between two sets of scores may also be lowered by chance and by minor psychological factors. Because the testes in such a group are closely clustered, the chances in scores and relative position produced by extraneous factors are more significant than they would be in a widely divergent group. Thus, variability of scores is another factor which affects the reliability of a test. The third factor that we are going to consider next is time interval between testing. When there is a time interval between test and retest, the retest results will be affected due to differences in individual performance and also due to changes in the environmental conditions. If the time interval has been quite long, especially in the case of young children, an individual's retest results may also be influenced by other factors like growth, maturation, emotional and psychological experiences, etc. Thus, a researcher has to consider time interval between testing as an important factor while calculating the reliability of a test. The fourth factor is effect of practice and learning. Practice on the test will help in learning, and this in turn can affect the reliability of a test. For example, therapy or counseling may modify an individual's value and behavior sufficiently to produce significant differences in test-retest results in case of personality test. One has to make sure while calculating the reliability the effects of practice and learning to reduce the random error. Fifth factor which may affect the reliability is consistency in scores. Lack of agreement among the scorers will drastically affect the reliability coefficient. This is generally true in case of test in which entirely objective scoring is not available. For such test, it is advisable to know the extent of agreement in scoring among competent psychologists who have scored the same set of responses. This measure helps in reducing the error that may be produced by different scorers who are calculating the reliability or grading them in their own ways. Another factor that affects the reliability is the effect of test length. The reliability of a test is directly dependent on the length, that is, the number of items in a test. Suppose a test of 40 items has a reliability of 0.60. Now, we increase the items to 120 by adding 80 more homogeneous items to the previous 40 items. The reliability of the new test of 120 items will also be increased. In a similar manner, by shortening the length of the test, the reliability of the test also decreases. Let's learn to calculate the reliability by increasing and decreasing the number of items. The change in the reliability of a test after increasing or decreasing the number of items can be calculated by using Spearman-Brown formula. The Spearman-Brown formula is Rn, which is the new reliability, is equal to KRO divided by 1 plus K minus 1 into RO. In this formula, K represents the number of times by which the test is larger or shorter than the original test. RO represents the older reliability of the test. Mathematically, to calculate K, it is the ratio of the number of items in the lengthened or shortened test to the number of items in the original test. Mathematically represented as K is equal to number of items in lengthened or shortened test divided by number of items in the original test. RO is the reliability of the test which is being lengthened or shortened. Thus, in the previous example where the test was increased in the length by adding 80 more items, and the number of items then becomes 120 instead of initial 40, the reliability of a new test can be calculated by using the same formula. In this example, our k would be equal to 120 upon 40 because 120 is the total number of the items in the lengthened test and 40 is the number of items in the original test. K comes out to be 3. New reliability can be calculated by using the formula KRO divided by 1 plus K minus 1 into RO, which is equal to 3 multiplied by 0.60 divided by 1 plus 3 minus 1 into 0.60. Further calculating 1.80 divided by 1 plus 1.20. Thus, the new reliability will come out to be 0.82. What we have seen in this particular example is that by increasing the length of the test items from 40 to 120, the reliability of the test has also increased from 0.60 to 0.82. In this particular manner itself, decreasing the number of items reduces the reliability of the test. Let's solve an example to understand this. Suppose in an original test of 100 items, the reliability of the test calculated was 0.50. If the researcher reduces the number of items from 100 to 45 items, the new reliability can be calculated by same Spearman-Brown formula, which is KRO divided by 1 plus K minus 1 into RO. In this particular example, we will first calculate the value of K, which is 45 divided by 100 equals to 0.45. Putting the values in the Spearman-Brown formula, the new reliability would be 0.45 multiplied by 0.50 divided by 1 plus 0.45 minus 1 into 0.50. The new reliability after making calculations come out to be 0.31. Thus, we have seen that reducing the test length from 100 items to 45 items reduces the reliability of the form from 0.50 to 0.31 of the test. After considering the factors which affect the reliability of the test, we will now look upon the reliability of some common psychological tests. Different types of measures of test reliability are used depending upon the nature of the psychological test in question. In general, if the test contains homogeneous items, the internal consistency reliability measures are computed for analysis. In case of a speeded test, the choice of reliability index is parallel or alternate form of reliability, whereas the test-retest reliability index is appropriate if the construct is not susceptible to maturational, learning or situational effects. Let's see the names of some common psychological tests with the types of reliability used by them. First most common test is 16 personality factors 16PF by Cattell. In this particular test, equivalent form of reliability method is used. State trait anxiety inventory for children given by Spielberger and others cited in Chadda 1996 has test-retest form of reliability calculated for it. Another personality inventory very commonly used is Eysenck personality inventory given by Eysenck and Eysenck in the year 1975. This particular inventory has test-retest reliability coefficient calculated. Kudder General Interest Survey given by Kudder in the year 1975 has used Kudder-Richardson method for calculating the reliability. Managerial style questionnaire by Kirchhoff in the year 1975 has also used test-retest reliability as a measure for calculating. Draw a man test by Pramila Pathak and cited in Chadha also has used test-retest reliability method. Value preference scale by Uday Parekh has used split half method of reliability. Life scale inventory by Chadha and Willigan has used split half method of reliability. Split half coefficient in this particular scale is 0.84. Social integration attitude scale SIAS by Roy 1967 also has used split half method and the reliability coefficient is 0.90. Interpersonal trust scale by Chadha and Menon has again used split half method of reliability and the coefficient varies somewhere between 0.89 to 0.98. These are some of the common psychological tests and type of reliability that is used in them. After considering this, we will now look upon importance of reliability in psychological testing. Reliability refers to the internal consistency of a test. Without establishing the reliability estimates, a psychological test will be rendered as a cherished instrument of no good use. To be viable, a psychological test must be reliable. Imagine the condition of a bright job candidate who could not be hired by the recruiting agency because it adopted an unreliable psychological test like the heaps of them are available on the internet in the form of freeware. It would have been frustrating not only for the job applicant but would also be a great loss for the employer. A standardized psychological test fulfilling the strict psychometric criteria and appropriate levels of reliability and validity should be used for the purpose of assessment and measurement. However, the reverse engineering of above can also prove very useful. For example, if we have a test of established reliability and other required psychometric criteria and hence we are confident about its reliability, we can use it to predict the consistency of the behavior of the testee assessed by that particular measurement instrument. An employer might be disturbed with the inconsistent actions of one of his employees in behavioral terms. If we use the standard test of good reliability estimate, he can use such test to predict which of the candidates will show more in terms of consistency on the measured attribute if other things are equal. Thus, reliable psychological tests serve as a two-way purpose of the assessment and the prediction of behavior of individual for a specific purpose. Students, by now you must have realized the importance of calculating the reliability of a test. Let's summarize what we have learned in this module. Reliability of a test is a criterion of test quality relating to the accuracy of psychological measurements. The higher the reliability of a test, relatively the freer it would be of measurement errors. Numerous factors affect the reliability of a test. Variability of age, variability of scores, time interval between testing, effect of practice and learning, consistency in scores, and effect of test lengths are the factors that may affect the reliability of a psychological test. If we talk about in general, we can say that the more heterogeneous a group with respect to variability in age and variability in score, the more reliable the measure will be. The time interval between the test and the retest should also be appropriate to enhance the reliability of a test. The shorter the time interval between two administrations of a test, the higher will be the reliability. Practice and learning effects can cause test scores to vary and affect the reliability. Lack of agreement among the scorers will drastically affect the reliability coefficient. Reliability reflects the accuracy and stability of a test score. The goal of a sound psychometric test is to reduce the measurement error in order to find the client's true score on a measure. A psychological test high on reliability index is considered to be free of measurement errors. Thus, it is essential to take note of the factors that impact the reliability of the measuring device. Among many factors that can affect the reliability of a test score, the main factors include variability of age, variability of scores, time interval between testing, effect of practice and learning, consistency in scorers, and effect of test length. Stability of test scores and test items represent the reliability of the test. Reliability index denotes the accuracy of psychological measurement, that is, the extent to which measure is likely to change over time. In terms of error of measurement, it is defined as the ratio of random error variance to total score variance. If raw score X on a test is made up of true score T and random error E, reliability can be denoted as reliability is equal to 1 minus variance of E divided by variance of X. Reliability of a test is affected by many factors. First, variability of age. The age variability of the group affects the reliability coefficient. The reliability will be higher for a group having a wider range of age group participants and lesser for a group in which the participants belong to relatively similar age group. Second, variability of scores. Reliability of a test is affected in the same way with the variability in the measured scores. When the variation among the participants is small, the correlation between two sets of scores may also be lowered by chance and by minor psychological factors. Because the testees in such a group are closely clustered, the chances in scores and relative position produced by extraneous factors are more significant than they would be in a widely divergent group. Third, time interval between testing. When there is a time interval between test and retest, the retest results will be affected due to the differences in individual performance and also due to the changes in the environmental conditions. If the time interval has been quite long, especially in case of young children and individuals, retest results may also be influenced by other factors like growth, maturation, emotional and psychological experiences. Fourth, effects of practice and learning. Practice on the test will help in learning, and this, in turn, can affect the reliability of a test. For example, therapy or counseling may modify an individual's value and behavior sufficiently to produce significant differences in test retest results in case of personality test. Fifth, consistency in scorers. Lack of agreement among the scorers will drastically affect the reliability coefficient. This is generally true in case of tests in which entirely objective scoring is not available. For such tests, it is advisable to know the extent of agreement in scoring among competent psychologists who have scored the same set of responses. Effect of test length. The length of the test has a special significance in determining its reliability. Increasing the number of items increases the reliability, and decreasing the number of items decreases the reliability of a test. The Spearman-Brown formula can be used to estimate how many items one needs to add in a test to increase the reliability to a certain extent. Types of reliability in some psychological tests. Different types of measures of test reliability are used depending upon the nature of psychological test in question. Let's consider some examples. 16 personality factors by Cattell has equivalent form, that is, parallel or alternate forms of reliability coefficient. Isync personality inventory by Isync and Isync has calculated test-retest reliability index. The type of reliability used in Kudder General Interest Survey is Kudder-Richardson reliability. Life Scale by Chadda and Willigan has split half reliability coefficient. Let us now summarize what we have learned in this module. Reliability of a test is a criterion of test quality relating to the accuracy of psychological measurements. The higher the reliability of a test, relatively the freer it would be of measurement errors. Numerous factors affects the reliability of a test. Variability of age, variability of scores, time interval between testing, effect of practice and learning, consistency in scorers, and effect of test lengths are few examples. In general, the more heterogeneous a group is with respect to variability in age and variability in scores, the more reliable the measure will be. The time interval between the test and the retest should be appropriate to enhance the reliability of a test. The shorter the time interval between two administrations of a test, the higher will be the reliability. Practice and learning effects can cause test scores to vary and affect the reliability. Lack of agreement among the scorers will drastically affect the reliability. This is generally true in case of tests in which entirely objective scoring is not available. The length of the test can have a direct impact on its reliability. Generally, the longer a test is, the more reliable it is.